Day 6. Welcome back to Advent of Code 2016. Signals and noise. Something is jamming in your communications with Santa. Fortunately, your signal is only partially jammed, and protocol in situations like this is to switch to a simple repetition code to get the message through. In this model, the same message is sent repeatedly. You've recorded the repeating message signal, your puzzle input, but the data seems quite corrupted, almost too badly to recover, almost. All you need to do is figure out which character is most frequent for each position. For example, suppose you had this message, the most common character in the first column is E, and the second A, and the third S, and so on. Combining these characters returns the error-corrected message Easter. Each column, okay. Given the recording in your puzzle input, what is the error-corrected version of the message being sent? Okay, so we also have 8 columns, and here we have 6. Let's copy this into our IntelliJ. Input, read the input, and how do I do it? Let's say we have mutable list of I don't know what is their code, mutable list of, and I want to make like a starting list. Let's say get the first line for each character. Or easier, mutable list of car. Repeat raw 0 length times initial.add a code is a mutable list of okay, so now we have however many amount, so raw length is 6 here, because we have 6 in each row characters, 6 characters in each row, then we have 6 lists in here. So now I can index into this, so I can just basically loop through each line, and then for each index in the line I can say code at that index, add my character at that index. Then I have 6 lists, basically all the columns, all the characters, and then I just have to count the characters for each list. Can I do list? Yeah. Distinct. For each character that's distinct, I check in the list. Count how many there are. Map character to counts. Then we have a list of pairs of char and int, and then I can say on the most common one, right? Counts dot max by first. So get the highest count and the first character. And I can print that one maybe. Let's have a look. Okay, what's going on here now? No, definitely in column 2, A is more common. There's 1, 2, 3 A's and 1, 2 E's. Let's look at the intermittent result. Yeah, we always get the same list, and probably it's because they're kind of linked or something. Let's see. Yeah, so can't reuse the same list because then it will add to all of the lists. Well, they added to one list and every list is the same, and now I have 6 different lists and it will work. So I have Easter here. Let's try with this code. We have Zerg, which sounds kind of wrong. Maybe I can do print. Wonder if that's it. Looks a bit weird. That's it. Part 2. Of course, that would be the message if you hadn't agreed to use a modified repetition code instead. In this modified code, the sender instead transmits what looks like random data, but for each character, the character they actually want to send is slightly less likely than the others. Even after a signal jamming noise, you can look at the letter distribution in each column and choose the least common letter to reconstruct the original message. The least common character in the first column is A. The second is D, so it's Advent. So now we want the least column, the least likely, most common. Then we add this here. get least common is the same with min. Then we can print join to string most common and least common. Actually, we can check it. The sample inputs, we have Easter and Advent. So if we get the real one, we have this stuff. And that's it for day 6. So let's talk through the approach. Basically, we want to just go through the column, map them to a list of characters, and then get the most common one. And then we do that for each column. And then we put the most common ones next to each other and we get the result. Part 2 we do for the least common. So what we do is we make a few list of lists, mutable list of char. Each list is inside here represents a column. So then we can start with empty lists and we go for each line. We go through the indices in that line, so each character in the line. We pick if it's the first character, we pick the first list and add the first character to the first list. And if it's the second character, we add the second character to the second list, and so on. And then we have lists of characters in each column, and then we can go through and collect the most and least common one for each list. So we get the counts, which is a list of pair of chars to int. So each character that appears, so I get first a distinct character. Each character, I want to find out how often they appear in the list. Then I add the most common, and then I get the least common by checking this intermittent result of counts for each of those lists. Each list is a column. Get the maximum count, and then the first is which character is associated with the maximum count. And here we get the minimum count and which character is associated with the minimum count. And that's it. Thanks everyone. See you next time.